Welcome back to Ultimate Admirals, Age of Sail. I'm Commander Tyrael. In the last episode we captured the HMS Walpole and it's carrying vital supplies for our battered fleet at Dr. Belize. Without these supplies we'll be reduced to quarter rations. The Spanish are aware of our desperate supply situation and have sent several patrols to search for our ship. With our main fleet being repaired, the Spanish have an overwhelming advantage in the region. Our only hope is to avoid them, and thankfully, frequent squalls have kept us hidden so far. If you have the misfortune to encounter this enemy, your only hope will be to delay them long enough for the Walpole to escape to safety, and then retreat with your remaining ships. I'm not in the mood for running from ships. If any Spanish are around, we're going to capture their ships to expand our fleet. We're going to be a lot more aggressive with our boarding actions to try and avoid having protracted gun battles like the last mission. HMS Ferret lost its main mast and that cost us a fair amount to repair, but we did capture the San Juan Bautista. So we've got an extra cutter to bring to battle with us, and the Spanish cutters have proven to be quite effective. So without further ado, we're going to deploy our fleet and jump into battle. 340 fighting men and 42 guns. Not too bad. Decent little raiding party. Our recaptured merchant is carrying vital supplies, so we are accompanying her to ensure that she can rejoin with the rest of the fleet. The heavy rain prevented us from detecting the enemy until they were nearly on top of us. We are heavily outnumbered and outgunned. Our only chance is to run. Captain, we can't afford to engage the enemy directly. We must attempt to keep them off the merchant ship until it can escape. Those supplies must get through. Well, we're not actually outgunned here. We technically have 6 more cannon than the 3 Spanish cutters have, as well as a significant amount of troops compared to them. So like I said before, we're going to be extremely aggressive. We're going to try and capture as many of these ships as we can. Either add them to the fleet or send them back home as prizes for the crown. We have the favour of wind here as well, so we really can dictate what happens here. They're running against the wind. They're probably going to try and rush our merchantmen. So let's have a look and see what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure that the Walpole is well clear of our fighting formation, but not so far as that we can't respond if someone sneaks through. I did the speed thing again. Here we go. Now we're at real time. The planning phase is over. Now I may not be able to cut off the first one, but I should be able to drive myself through the middle of their line. And any of these small boats that we manage to corner, we'll be able to take down fairly quickly. Keeping in mind that our main strategy here is to try and board the ships and take them for ourselves. So we don't want to fight them too much, because any damage we do, we'll have to repair later. So I'll sneak the Walpole back around the stern of the formation. We still have a wind advantage, but keeping in mind that the cutters can run across the wind very efficiently. For now, he seems satisfied to engage us. And our new Spanish cutter here, recently stolen, the San Juan Bautista. If she does well, we'll keep her on and even rename her. So nice opening volley into stern of that Spanish cutter. Santa Eugenia and Libra. Then we have Liberacion sneaking around the backside there. So we'll keep an eye on her. She's going to stay separate to her allies. So we'll turn hard to starboard here and come across their stern again, get some nice damaging shots into the rear. So we'll break up our line now. We have enough ships here to go 1 versus 1 with every single enemy that we've got. So both of these Spanish cutters here have stalled in the wind. Must be blowing hard. She's trying to tack. The second one there is lifted her sails. And the tack hasn't really worked. She's been blown backwards, but has been able to change her heading. So now she's probably going to cut across the rear of our formation and make a dive for the Walpole. Santa Eugenia seems to be stuck dead in the water for some reason. Maybe they're having some rigging issues. And there we go. Libra is doing as I suspected and cutting across towards the Walpole. So we'll get HMS Alert, turn her around to starboard, and get her on an intercept course. HMS Ferret has been a bit of a liability the last mission that I was in. So we'll see if we can improve the record. So both of the Spanish cutters, the Libra and Santa Eugenia, are both making a desperate dash towards the Walpole. We do have HMS Alert, the sloop here, on an intercept course. Opening volleys while maneuvering may not hit. Now the cutter is faster, but we have a better line and the Walpole is heading towards us, so with a little bit of luck we'll be able to intercept. HMS Ferret has Liberacion on the back foot and pushing her away from the formation, so I'll get San Bautista to come back in and assist. There we go, HMS Alert taking a starboard turn to cross in front of the gun path of the Libra. Musket fire from the deck. And we've managed to intercept that preloaded volley. Cheers from the crowd on the deck. We have the perfect opportunity here for a boarding action. Meanwhile, HMS Ferret is chasing down Liberacion, but Liberacion is crossing the bow and looking for a raking shot. San Juan Bautista is lingering a bit behind. HMS Alert has managed to push Libra away from Walpole, although the boarding has not yet commenced. Santa Eugenia looks like they're coming down to assist their sister ship from the HMS Alert's boarding action. So for now, the immediate threat to Walpole is down. We can have a look at what HMS Ferret's doing. Got some more stern shots in there. They keep turning into that wind, and it's not conducive to a running gun battle. One thing I've noticed when you're sailing the cutters and the smaller ships, you have to really be aware of the wind angles and quickly cross those non-optimum angles. So finally the boarding has commenced. We have taken a bit of crew damage to the HMS Alert, and she is having some morale shock there. Walpole is well clear of that little skirmish back there. And HMS Ferret seems to be struggling to do anything. I think sometimes when you commence the boarding action, it takes over control of the ship, so I'll have to come back to that in a sec. Boarding seems to be going well. The crew of the Libra are falling quickly. San Juan Bautista is going to come in and commence a similar action on the Santa Eugenia. And boarding has commenced. We have managed to cross the crew over to the newer ship. HMS Alert is now at minimum crew. So they're not going to be in perfect fighting condition. If they take any extra damage, they will be a liability. But at this stage, the threat is very minimal. So we take our newly acquired Spanish cutter, the Libra, get the guns loaded, turn her about. Distracted by that little affray, our San Juan Batista has managed to come in on her former ally ship, and boarding operations have commenced. With fire from the other ships following through, I'm sure that will be an easy mission. So let's go back and have a look for HMS Ferret. Where are you? There we go. Oh, we're still stuck in this terrible... We've just lost the mast. Oh my goodness. That's 2 masts in 2 missions. And I have a feeling it has to do with this boarding button. She won't turn about. So we've got the speed matched. Just cancel that boarding action and we'll do it ourselves. Come across. Sails seem to be stuck. They're not doing anything. Maybe they're having crew issues. Right, so we have 2 newly acquired Spanish cutters. And we'll move them up to the Walpole to escort them off the battlefield. While we try and solve this dilemma with the boarding action. Recommence that. Now we have some momentum. That's not an ideal position. They are getting some good shots. That's why they managed to take down our mast. They're basically shooting at it for 2 minutes unattended. Rookie errors. Luckily, we're only a lieutenant at this stage. Historically, if you lost a ship, though, you were court-martialed, so make sure we're not going to lose any of our own ships. So all these Spanish captains that we're robbing of their ships, they probably were disbarred from the Spanish court. From what I've seen, though, we're not taking prisoners, though, so most of those crewmen are dying on their ships. This is proving to be a little frustrating. Get about, you louts. We do have the wind advantage, but we've lost nearly 50% of our sail power. So this is just an exercise in futility. Although they are taking a fair bit of crew loss. Meanwhile, our burgeoning fleet has made her way back to the Walpole, and we will set them to exit the combat zone. Both of our ships are suffering from morale issues. With the amount of crew on the Ferret, we've lost approximately 33 men. If we had have got through with that boarding action, it would have been over very quickly. Just goes to prove that just because you have a bigger ship, it's not always easier to board a smaller ship. They can get around and try and wiggle their way away from you. Got 2 crew on survival of the ship, so we must have taken some hull damage. Some of our shots passing right through the ship. At this range, the penetration power of our 6-pounder guns will be pretty good. Alright, the wind has changed just as he's tried to make a dash across our bow, and he's heading straight into the wind. This could prove to be fortuitous for us. Yeah, so now he's stalled in the wind. He got very unlucky there. He could have made a dash to safety. trying to change the rigging. He's trying to come about. Nice big solid hits. We've got 1 crit. So nothing super dangerous. They're still trying to tack against that wind. Load the guns and shoot them again. I'm pretty sure that the blue indicators mean that the guns can't see over the water or the waves. Get the rest of the fleet to the evac zone, as that is really our main objective. So it's just a matter of maneuvering and keeping fire on them until they either surrender or perish. Speeding up the game, we've finally knocked down their sails, so they're helpless now, and we'll just move in to finish them off. I'm not even going to bother boarding them. It's not even a boat. It's just an island. Set everyone to hold fire. See if we can't ram them to death. Too late. As water laps over the deck, the crew abandon the ship. So as everyone else makes their way to the evac zone, we keep the practice up. Gunnery practice. So a pretty successful mission. We captured 2 Spanish cutters and sunk another, as well as getting... Oh, one of our officers is wounded, Decimus Maximus. We've gained another 2 Spanish cutters for the fleet, but I don't think I'll keep them. We have to replace that main mast again on the HMS Ferret. It's becoming an expensive endeavour. Repair the remaining ships. And we will rename the San Juan to HMS Canberra. Our troop ship Astarte is still yet to see combat, but our next mission is a ground battle. When you capture a ship, it is classed as a trophy ship and you have to spend some of your reputation to add it to your fleet. Or you can give it back to the Crown to gain reputation. In this case, I used reputation to give the ships to myself, and then I sold them in the dockyard for gold. Well, that's it for another episode. If you've enjoyed that, make sure to hit the like button, and we'll see you next time. Commander Tyrael, out.